know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, got in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Google signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things.
Welcome back, everyone, to the anniversary edition of Once a Week. 8 straight years of Once a Week as of today, with no weeks off, and with each week pursuing the goal of helping people dive deeper, learn, grow, and truly grasp their own ability to create something great out of this life. Helping people is the name of the game, and with each passing week, we add more to that definition. So I'm glad that you're here. And if this is your first time watching an episode, you've got a lot to choose from for the next one, I'll tell you that much. But before we step into today's topic, if you have not subscribed to Once a Week yet, then please hit that subscribe button below, and please hit that thumbs up button as well, so you can like this message, which means it reaches more and more people. Lend us a hand in those two areas, and it's all the help I will ever ask you. So I thank you for it. But for today, let's get right into it as we always do. Because year 8 starts right now. And it wouldn't be an anniversary episode if we didn't take a look back at where we started. And whether you've gone back to the older videos or not, Once a Week literally started with a small camera in the woods. I needed a place to practice where I wouldn't be interrupted. And then week after week, the skill and messages began to grow to the point where opportunities began to show up. Great special guests wanted to be a part of spreading a positive message to help others. People began to receive help for what they were going through. And truthfully, to the people who reached out personally and told me a certain message helped them specifically, you have no idea to how much that means to me. That means the world. But with all the positivity that has come out of never taking a week off and practicing and growing through this entire process, there's one thing that we don't talk about as much on Once a Week that I felt connects to a year 8 anniversary message. And that's failure. Because you guys see the positivity and you see the success, you get the power of the messages that come from the process. But the process is never without failure. It's what breeds the success. And over the last 8 years, truthfully, guys, there's been the fair share of failures as well. Because there's supposed to be, right? But as I was thinking on this message for today, it began to become clear to me that failure is all based around the perspective and standard of the beholder. And I see that in myself. But it's all based around the standards we set for ourselves and the standard we try to meet, because for any goal or vision we have for ourselves, we begin to see ourselves as the greatest in that pursuit, as we should. You have that goal or that vision for a reason. It's on you to create it and see it come to fruition in your life. So beginning to see yourself as the one to achieve it, that's necessary. But in doing so, you begin to raise your standards to what you believe you're capable of. The process of becoming a success. But in any moment where you have an opportunity to move forward on that goal for yourself, to take a step forward for yourself, and you don't feel you reach the standard that you set, or if you don't surpass it, truthfully, guys, we begin to look at ourselves as a failure. And I can tell you straight up, I battle this often. Whether it's speaking to an audience and I feel I could have done better in certain areas, I could have tweaked this point or said this point differently to create a greater impact, or maybe it's a coaching session and how it flows with the client there, or maybe something just a little bit more personal, like a workout, or for any of us in how we show up in our relationships, your family, your friends, your significant other. It's human nature to want to be your best in every single situation. But when we don't, we begin to beat ourselves up. The process of becoming a success, right? But with this point, The perspective of the beholder is so different than the perspective of the watcher. Because with me, for the example, I could be so hard on myself on how a gig, a speaking engagement goes because I want it to be at my best. I want everything to flow perfectly. I want everyone to have an experience at the event that they can take with them and move forward. But I can't have the experience for the watcher. At certain events where I feel I could have done better, meaning my perspective, I've had people come up to me afterwards and tell me how much they needed the information that was discussed, how much it meant to them and helped them learning the key points and seeing how they can apply it to their own life here and now. The perspective of the watcher. The watcher received all they needed and feels successful then moving forward. But the eyes of the beholder doesn't feel that same way personally in that moment. Is that failure or is that success? Perspective all based on the eyes of the beholder. But in saying all this, the process of becoming a success is filled with twists, it's filled with turns, lessons, roadblocks, and personal growth steps to be able to see yourself from a greater and deeper perspective. Failure towards our goal is just that, a process to help you towards your goal. But if we are too hard on ourselves, then we might begin to see and only see failure when in fact the process has created success and created a positive impact for those around you. I feel it's in this moment where someone chooses to give up or then keep going in their life. And let's face it, you'll never get anywhere successful without failing at some point along the way. And now, more than ever, but truthfully throughout history, we all hate failing. But it's those who don't allow the failure to truly shift their perspective and take their eyes off the prize. And the prize is truthfully a better you. Throughout the 8 years of Once a Week, failure is apparent. But wavering from the goal has never been and will never be an option. Adjustment periods, yes, but necessary in the process of becoming a success. Our perspective on our efforts can create more mental walls than necessary. And that same perspective can take down any mental wall between you and your goal. But to allow your perspective to shift based around others' perspectives of you and your efforts, that can greatly push you forward. Because nothing is ever totally failure, right? Because if you learn a lesson in the process, if you come out with something greater, you've shifted your failure then into a success based around the lesson you got out of it. And as we've said over the years, there's a lesson in everything. We go through in life, there will forever be a lesson that we come out of. Personal goals, external goals, internal goals, whatever it means for you. When you set your goal, when you set your vision, when you set your intention, everything then conspires to help you get there. And at times, everything needs to reshape you through failure so you can become the success that you strive to be. That's a fact of life. When we embrace it, we begin to see a bit clearer why we go through what we go through. All of it helping you then move forward to where you're meant to be. All based around your perspective. You gotta think about that. My examples are my examples, but what does it mean to you? I'm gonna close it off with that. Because 8 years of Once a Week is a great feat, but as we've said in many videos past, let's face it guys, there's no end in sight. Through ups and downs, eyes always forward. Your process of becoming a success and the personal goals you have for yourself will reshape you into something new, and failure will be a necessary tool that you need to use. But keep your perspective on a swivel so you can take in all the right information and not just what your own mind and your own ego will tell you. Because more often than not, as it's shown in mine, that will take you down much further than you need to go. Do not let that happen. But I appreciate you guys so much for being here and for being here for 8 years. Please like this message on YouTube and hit that thumbs up on below. Share this message to someone who you feel needs to hear it and can use it and run with it to help themselves. And if you've not already, please subscribe to Once a Week here on YouTube and take a look at all of our other messages Because there's a lot there you can choose from to find which message hits you perfectly. And if you or anyone you know is in need of a coach who can step into these areas discussed today and help you shift these perspectives discussed today, for that matter, head to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me. I'll be right there for you, because I want to be right there for you. But I'll say this, guys, in this entire topic discussed today, failures and the process of becoming a success for yourself, I can give you my examples of speaking, engagement, a gig, whatever it is, and the perfectionism that comes out in us, which is the wrong pursuit. But at the end of the day, that pops up in every area of our life, because we're constantly judging ourselves. We're constantly critiquing ourselves. And for the greats that made it somewhere, they learned how to harness that aspect of humanity, because it's in every single one of us, and they used it for the betterment of themselves. It's the process of success. But if you get so far into your own head, your failures will be all you see. Pick your eyes up. As we always say, pick your eyes up so you can see everyone else there. You can see all the blessings around you. You can see all the good around you, yes. But when you take into account the people you're impacting on a daily basis, where you are in life right now, it's not a failure. It's guiding you to where you're meant to be. It's reshaping you into who you are meant to be. Take that and run with it. You never know. 8 years later, you might be in a different place. Until next week, guys, but I thank you so much for tuning in for 8 years. I'll see you.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, got in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Bugle signing on, John to the Hancock.